Hello everyone, it's Rachel D'Ambrosio from the So Happy Quilters Association. So we're heading into Easter, it's the Easter weekend coming up, and I thought we'd go and have a look in some shops to see if we can find any Easter fabrics. There's 3 really good shops in the UK which generally sell like home stuff, and they also do have some fabrics as well. Not a lot, but they do have some. So we're going to go and see Home Bargains. We're then going to go to Dunelm and then we're going to go to The Range. So the first one we're going to go and visit is Home Bargains. So this is the Home Bargains on the Isle of Wight, which is just outside Newport. They do a range called Sarah Ashford. She's a quite well-known quilter. So we're going to have a look and see what kind of stuff she's got. They have a really good range of little bits and bobs. They have elastic sewing needles for 99p. So this is Sarah Ashford, there she is. So she has this whole range. She has buttons. Oh, these are very cute enamel buttons. Oh, these are some nice kits. They've got a hexagon template. That's not bad, is it? £1.99 for 3 hexagon templates. Those ones good for English paper piecing. These are very good for applique. And a little embroidery thing. There's some really good stuff here actually. Quite impressed. I'm always impressed with their wool as well. I do a bit of crocheting and a bit of knitting. £4.99 for 300 grams. So here is a nice little sewing kit. Really nice little pattern. £3.99. Handy little cutting board. I always like to see what measurements it's got on it. So it does have the centimetres. Oh, and it does have inches on the back. I always say to my group that if you're going to cut with a ruler with inches, you need to be using an inch cutting mat, because otherwise your brain gets just confused when you're trying to cut it with a centimetre one. But that's a nice little mat. I mean, look, £3.99. Very good. They're really good for keeping little pins and bits and bobs in. They are 99p. Here is some nice little cushions. Little patchwork cushion for £3.99. Again, it's one of Sarah Ashford's kits. Let's have a look. So it looks like you get everything you need in it, obviously apart from the cushion. So it was going to make you 45 centimetre by 45 centimetre cushion. That is really, really nice. I think I got one of those at one point, and actually the fabric's quite good in it. So there's another one that Sarah Ashford does. I did hear a talk once from Sarah Ashford, and it was about the Raja quilt, so that was quite interesting. And so what have we got down the bottom? We have got, oh, we do actually have some charm packs. We do have some fat quarters. So let's have a little look at what fat quarters there are. So they are 5 fat quarters for £4.99. Had this one before, and I have actually made some bags out of it. Some top tote bags, which is one of my patterns. This is quite pretty. I think I like that one. That's a nice pink one. My friend Tony would probably love that one. Nice little offerings from Home Bargains with their fat quarters, but I can't find any Easter fat quarters. Maybe we'll go and look down the Easter aisle. Just got to show you this as well. This is quite nice. This is a inch ruler. It's a 6.5 by a 12.5. Oh, it's £2.99. So yeah. I mean, you can really get set up in Home Bargains with a nice little sewing kit, that's for sure, to get you on your sewing journey. It looks like it's the fabric that matches the fat quarters. This is a nice one. I like that one. Little pastel colours. Home Bargains in the UK is actually a really popular shop. You do get some really great bargains here. Let's go down and have a look down the Easter aisle, because we might find some fabrics down there, you never know. I was going to tell you this when we go to Dunelm, but a really good way of backing your quilts is to use a duvet cover. And actually I really like this one because this is super cute. There's the picture of it. This is it says Little Bunny duvet set. It's 135 by 200 centimetres with 1 pillowcase, and it's £7.99. It's very, very cute. I mean, look at the bunnies on it. If you buy a duvet cover, you're going to get 2 backings, because you're going to get the front of the duvet, the back of the duvet, and you're going to get the pillowcase, which you could actually make a bag out of, potentially. So you've got some wipe clean tablecloth, so you could make some zippy pouches out of those. 52 inches by 70 inches, and it's £3.99. So if you wanted to make some cute little zippy pouches for Easter, that fabric would certainly work because it's a white clean fabric. We're now leaving Home Bargains. We're going to head over to Dunelm. At the end of all the 3 shops, I'll let you know exactly what we have got. Hello, so I've driven about 5-6 minutes and I'm now at Dunelm and we're going to go and have a look and see what they've got. So this is the shop. They sell various things like curtains and blinds, custom made fabrics, cushions, home decor, pictures and mirrors and much more. And it says they are the UK's #1 homeware specialist. So I don't often go to Dunelm very much. Generally the one from us is probably about a 40-minute drive away, so it's only when I come over to the lovely Isle of Wight that I come to Dunelm. We will go to the Haberdashery bit first. I think if I remember rightly they actually have sewing machines, but we can have a look at those. Dunelm also have a lovely coffee shop, so if you ever go into that in here, get yourself a nice coffee. That fabric could easily be used to make zippy pouches or cushions, maybe to go outside in the garden. Oh, and actually I spy some fat quarters. Look at those. Oh, it's a napkin set. How fun is that? It looks like fat quarters, but I suppose you could use it as fat quarters. So they do have a really good range of Dunelm threads, which is quite nice. So you have the sole thread, the 250 metres, £4.50 is their cottons, £2 is their small ones. They're all sewable as well. This is quite a good range, and when you see the video from my own sewing room, I do actually have quite a lot of Dunelm threads. There is a top stitch. Someone said to me the other day that you could actually use the top stitch to use in like a perlé cotton for like sashiko stitching. So I might give that a go at some point to see how that comes out. So what else have they got? So they do have some fabrics down the bottom. They cut it by the metre. I did actually get some really good bargains from here in the January sales. The week after Christmas they had some fabrics like this, which were like £1.25 a metre, so it was amazing. Do I need a bunny tape measure? You never know, especially as it's Easter. Of course everyone needs a cat one. They do have a whole range of haberdashery stuff as well. So you've got the hemline gold make, and they've got their rotary cutters and their scissors, and the pins. Oh, they even have some Singer accessories, look. So they do have a side cutter attachment for your Singer sewing machine. I don't really have a Singer, I have a Janome, so it wouldn't work for me. And a ruffle foot. That's a good little gadget, isn't it? Look at that, a ruffle foot. So that, £32, one of those. We've got some rulers. That's not bad, is it? So easy ruler, design ruler. £20, one of those. Patchwork ruler, 25. More patchwork rulers. Basting glues, wipe off markers. Fabric weights. They could come in handy, couldn't they? Does anybody use fabric weights? Let me know if you do use fabric weights. I don't tend to use them, but you know, could get something I could use maybe. It's quilting clips. 45 for £7. This is really interesting. Hemline gold quilters mat, £24. So this is going to be one that's going to fold out, and you'll probably have an ironing bit on one side and a cutting on the other. That's what they usually have. Oh, this is another. This is very cute. I've actually got this. Well, there you go. Look, that's a picture of what it looks like. So it can be quite handy if you go into a sewing retreat, because then you just fold it out, cut one side, iron on the other. Yeah, it's quite a good little thing. This is an interesting iron, steam iron with a non-stick sole plate, little mini pressing board. So they also have some waddings. It's an 80% cotton and 20% polyester. That's generally what I use. And then some cute little notebooks and zippy pouches. So if you want to write down all your notes from your sewing, then yeah, you could certainly do that. Oh, look at the mushroom ones. I know a friend of mine who would very much love that. We've got some really good value cottons for £1. This is a hemline one, I think. Yeah, it's a hemline one. And you've got white. That's not bad for £1, is it really? I mean, that's going to last you forever. That's just great. Sewing thread, 1,000 metres for £1. Wow, bargain. Oh, so what have we got? We've got Fiskars. My favourite make is definitely Fiskars. That's not bad. So it's a DMC make. So they're going to cut fabric really well and snip cotton really well. This is a scissor sharpener. So you put your scissor blades into there and then you snip it through and it sharpens your scissors. It's quite a handy little gadget really. Sometimes I've got one of these and take it to my sewing retreats and let other people share it, so that's quite nice. So they do have some fat quarters. So they have these ones, let's have a look. Each fat quarter is 18 by 22. I mean, it's a little bit short. Most fat quarters are like 20 by 23, but you know, it depends on how they cut it in the factory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is really, really nice. 100% organic cotton. Maybe that makes a difference, who knows. This is really nice. So this is William Morris Cottage Views, £14. Again, it's cut to 18 to 22, so you know, you could still make a nice top tote bag for it. That's another pattern that I also have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really, really like these. That's really nice, look at that. Very, very, very soft cotton again. So I suppose they would probably be quite good to store your fat quarters in. They probably would be, I reckon. But they do have cushion inners up here. They're quite a good price, £5.50 for a 37 by 37. I usually go for the 42 by 42 because that is about a 16-inch square. So when I make a cushion, because if I'm flip cushion or book cushion, I tend to make those. But you've also got these ones, so that's a really good price. So the other ones there were all with feathers, and then the ones that are here are nice and soft ones. These are quite nice. Yeah, that's quite a good price for £3 actually. Sometimes I buy them from Argos because you can get a set of 4. Sometimes they do 4 for £9, but £3 is probably good. So I think when I need them again, I'll probably, if I need them urgently, I'll come back here. If I don't need them urgently, I'll probably buy them online because it'll probably be cheaper. This is all the PVC and table protectors, and they sell this by the metre. Now I have quite often brought this to make zippy pouches with. It's really quite fun actually, look. I mean, look, can you imagine a little zippy pouch in that? For a kid, that would just be amazing. That'd be quite cute, wouldn't it, if you make a little lunch bag or anything. But this is really cute. It does look like Smarties, doesn't it? Or Skittles maybe. Sometimes in Dunelm they have offcuts which you can buy quite cheap. You could use a universal sewing machine needle to sew them. That's what I generally tend to do. That's a nice one. That's almost like a bit like a quilt pattern maybe. Oh, nice. What they also have here is see-through plastics. This one is £3.50 a metre. This is really good for making zippy pouches. Just put a nice basic little zip on the top. I tend to do a lot of my kits in that, so I might get some of that. Beautiful woven crafted duvet set. So it is £8. This looks like a very interesting one. Again, perfect to back a quilt with because you could have 2 sides of the fabric. £5.50 was £22, and this is a king size and it's reversible, and it has 2 pillowcases. I mean, what's not to like about that? Sometimes you even find fabrics that are in like a patchwork kind of pattern. I really, really like the children's ones they do here. I'll have a look at those. I did loads of Disney quilts last year for when we went on the Disney Dream, and we got involved in the fish extenders, and I made quilts for everybody. A lot of my friends thought I was mad, but I really enjoyed it, and I actually did use duvet covers to back it with. It's the best way of getting Disney fabric. Fitted sheet, £3. So you could cut off the elastic on the corner. You definitely use that to back your quilt with. Oh, it's 100% polyester. I mean, cotton obviously is better, but polyester still works. I mean, for £3, what is not to like? Double duvet cover, £10. Yeah, really nice. So there's some really good bargains in Dunelm. I do like it here. You probably realise I spent more time here than I did at Home Bargains. Tend to know what I want when I go into Home Bargains, but Dunelm you kind of walk around and see lots of lovely stuff. I always get lots of inspiration actually from the fabric to use for backings of quilts, or even to cut it up to use it into different patchwork. So I've driven maybe about 8 to 10 minutes to a place called Cowes on the Isle of Wight, and we're going to go in and see the range and see what kind of fabrics they might have and have a look at their haberdashery section. It's got a really big car park. The range is really popular in the UK. It sells loads and loads of different stuff, has loads of different bargains. It's really great at Christmas. They've recently incorporated lots of Icelands into it, and Iceland is a frozen food shop here in the UK. Sometimes they have them separately, and they've started putting them into the range, so that's really helpful. Some ranges also have a cafe. I believe this one does as well. So we're going to walk on in here and see what we can find. Have a quick look at the scissors, because they can always be used, obviously, you know, for fabrics or for paper. So this is a scissors set, £5.89, little scissors. I actually have got these scissors for my own craft group, Crafty Stitchers, and they've used these ones quite often. So you've got the small one that's £1.49 and the big one that's £1.99. I mean, you know, 50p, might as well go for the big one. Dressmaking shears, that's an interesting one. You do also have some cutting boards down the bottom, but like I was mentioning earlier, these are centimetres, and really you need it in inches. If you're going to be cutting your fabric in inches, you need an inch board. Has it got inches on the back? Well, let's have a look. No, it does not. Oh, it's actually a rotating one. Oh, so that's really helpful. So rotating cutting mat, as you can see from the picture, you can just move the cutting mat and leave the back in on. These are really helpful. I've used these quite a few times. I've actually got quite a lot of these. So this is a file folder, and it says it's a 12 by 12 inch. So if you were doing 12-inch blocks, then you could store them in here. I mean, look, it's £1. So it's a bargain, really. This is all the ribbons. They do a really good range of ribbons, actually, in the range, funny enough. I've got some really lovely, look at those. I mean, they would look really nice on a tie for maybe like a little bag or something. So you've got 2 meters thin enchanted ribbon for £1.29. I mean, that's quite good, isn't it? Oh, these ones. I've seen these before. They have happy birthday on it. I think I got some before and they said handmade or something like that. And they're 29p, so they're a bargain. If you want to put them on your quilt, you could do. Coloured ribbons, so they are 2 meters for 99p. This is quite nice. So if you had a sewing roll, maybe you could use that to tie it and then use a button on the end. That would work quite well. I do that quite often when I'm making my sewing rolls. They do a lot of wedding stuff as well at the range. Once again, they have lots of wool. They have quite a big range of wool in here. For those people who like to crochet and knit. We have some lovely, lovely fat quarters. We will have a good look at those. I don't think they do things like rotary cutters. I've never seen rotary cutters here, unless I'm wrong. £2.25. I mean, that's just amazing. So if you're going to make any of those scrappy dolls and cats that I keep seeing on Facebook, they would work really, really well. We've got some red ones, some purple ones. Who doesn't love a button? Oh, I like those buttons. Look at those. Wouldn't they look great on a bag? Printed button embellishment, £1. 9 for £1. I quite like those. £4.99 for fat quarters fabric. Fat quarters fabric. The tropical fat quarters. It looks like they're reduced to £2.49. Let's find those tropical ones. I reckon that is probably the tropical one. If we look at the fabric, I mean, it's not that bad, it's quite nice. 100% cotton. It's definitely different to the organic cotton that we saw in Dunelm. However, it's the same as the fabric that they sell in Home Bargains. So, you know, it's quite nice. But £2.49, I mean, what's to sniff at with that? When I buy fat quarters, I tend to buy them in 2 packs, because if you buy 2 packs, then you've got 10 fat quarters, and there's quite a lot of fabric there for you to use. So, you know, that would work well. I reckon that is probably left over from Valentine's Day. So, but we're obviously looking for Easter fabrics. This is very, very cute. Very cute. So you've got power blue flowers, blue spotty flowers, checked one, and another flowery blue. Not sure if I'd want to use it in a quilt. Maybe if you were starting out and wanted to try out a pattern, then maybe that'd be the one to use. And then you've got these amazing bumblebees, and I have a friend called Eloise who really likes bumblebees. Shout out to Eloise. And this is really, really nice. Bee fabric fat quarters. Okay, it's 100% cotton. And then you've got these ones, which are your pastels, your blender colours. You could definitely use those. I think that's really cute. Really cute. Look at that. I mean, I could just visualise that on something, that's for sure. So this is also very pretty. Some nice colours in that one. Not bad offerings really from the range on your fat quarter packs. I'm quite impressed with that. Actually, there is a little rotary cutter. It's a little tiny one. I don't think I've ever seen one that small. £1.99. Little tiny. It says rotary knife. But you could probably use that to cut your fabric, I would have thought. Do let me know if you use a little rotary cutter like that. I tend to use Fiskars make, and I'll use 45mm, but you know what, that could come in quite handy. Very cute. So if you look at this one, versatile, it's a little bit slippery. I don't know if I'd want to work with that on the back of a quilt, but some of you might be able to. But £4.89 for a single quilt, single duvet cover, not bad. You've got autumn check, Ellison duvet, pumpkin set. I reckon these are probably left over from maybe the winter. This is really, really nice. I know somebody who would like this as well. My lovely friend Tony. Give a shout out to Tony. Nadia, print block. Oh, it's the same make, Devonte. £5.59. That's very cute. That is very cute. Actually, that feels really nice as well. That would do really well on the back of a quilt. Meadow flowers duvet cover. Very nice. Like I said, they don't really have that many duvet covers here, but they do have some, so that really helps. So I've done all my shopping now and been to all three shops. We've been to Home Bargains, we then went to Dunelm, and then we went to The Range. And so did I buy anything? Yes, of course I did buy a few things. I'm going to show you what I got. So the first thing that I got in Home Bargains was this little bunny duvet set. It is really, really cute. It's 55% cotton, 45% polyester, and I think if you remember it was like £7. And I realised that actually it's come in a little bag as well, so that's really helpful. It includes a pillowcase, so I'll probably make something really cute with that. And then in Dunelm, I obviously got the lovely two fat quarters. These are the V&A William Morris Cottage Views ones, so I got those. I mean, £14 for 5. Obviously, you know, in the other two shops they were cheaper, but the quality of the fabric on this is really, really nice. That's going to make a really nice bag. And remember I said earlier about buying things in 2 packs of fat quarters, so you can definitely get something nice out of that. So I got those. Yes, of course I decided to get this, £5.50. I mean, who could not want that as an absolute bargain? King size duvet, £5.50. You got 2 sides, you got 2 pillowcases, so that's going to make a backing for a lovely quilt at some point. When I use that, who knows? Definitely won't be able to buy that amount of fabric for £5.50, so that is really good. Also, I got the clear PVC. I wish now I bought it in The Range. I'll probably remember it in The Range, but I think maybe the one in Dunelm's a bit thicker from what I can work out and what I was feeling, so I will probably be using that for zippy pouches at some point. They've handily rolled it into a big long tube. I ended up getting the 2 tropical fat quarters, and they were indeed reduced to £2.49, so I got 2 packs of those. I'm not overly keen on the fabric, but actually I'm probably going to use it at some point for some kind of bag, or maybe one of my samples that I make, who knows. A really lovely morning shopping around 3 shops, going from one to the other, all like literally like 5-10 minutes drive from each other. And now I'm going to head home because I'm quite tired and I really would like a cup of tea. And if you know me well, I drink a lot of tea. I like Earl Grey tea with oat milk, so if anyone around everyone's house, that's what I like to drink. So have a lovely day. See you on the next video. See you later. Bye.
You can find and follow the So Happy Quilters Association on social media and their website.